You've probably heard the news by now. President Trump has been talking about sending $2,000 checks to Americans using tariff revenue. Point. And if you're on Social Security or living on a fixed income, that kind of money could make a real difference. But before you start planning how to spend anything, there is information you absolutely need to know. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what President Trump has announced, what experts are saying about whether these checks will actually happen, the realistic timeline you're looking at, and most importantly, how to protect yourself from scams while all of this plays out. Before we get started, please take a moment to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss important retirement news, and give this video a thumbs up so more seniors can see this crucial information. Here's what President Trump actually said. On November 17th, while speaking to reporters in the Oval Office, he stated that his administration plans to issue what he called tariff dividend checks to Americans. Point. According to his statements, these payments would be designed for people with moderate or middle incomes, and the amount he mentioned was at least $2,000 per person. Point. The concept is pretty straightforward. The federal government has been collecting tariffs, essentially taxes on imported goods. Trump's proposal is to take a portion of that revenue and send it back to American citizens in the form of dividend payments. Now here's where the timeline really matters. Trump told reporters the checks would come, in his words, probably the middle of next year, a little bit later than that. So realistically, we're looking at mid to late 2026, roughly 8 to 10 months from now at the very earliest. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent echoed this on November 16th. He confirmed that any payment program like this would require congressional approval. The White House cannot send out checks on its own. It would need to pass as legislation through both the House and the Senate. Let's talk about who might qualify. While Trump referenced moderate and middle-income Americans, Secretary Bessent suggested an income limit somewhere around $100,000. But here's the key point. No official eligibility criteria have been released yet. We still don't know whether the cutoff would be $100,000 for an individual or for a household, whether payments would be per person or per household, whether dependents or children would be included, or how income verification would be handled. For seniors on Social Security, here's the part that matters most. If the structure ends up looking anything like previous stimulus programs, and you receive Social Security benefits, you would likely qualify because most seniors fall far below the $100,000 income mark. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. A lot of budget experts and economists are openly questioning whether this proposal is even financially realistic. According to the Tax Foundation, Trump's new tariffs are expected to generate about $158 billion in 2025 and around $208 billion in 2026. That sounds like a huge amount of money, until you run the numbers on what these dividend checks would actually cost. If payments were sent to everyone making under $100,000, including both adults and children, the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget estimates the total cost could reach $600 billion. Even with stricter limits where only adults qualify, the Tax Foundation still puts the price tag between $280 and $300 billion. Erica York, the Vice President of Federal Tax Policy at the Tax Foundation, explained it this way. If the income cutoff is $100,000, roughly 150 million adults would qualify. That alone would cost close to $300 billion, far more than the tariffs are projected to bring in. John Rico, an analyst with the Budget Lab at Yale University, put it even more bluntly. It's clear the revenue coming in would not be adequate. And there's another major complication. President Trump has also said he wants to use tariff revenue to pay down the national debt. But you can't use the same dollar twice. If all the money goes toward dividend checks, there's nothing left for debt reduction. If you try to split it between the two, there isn't enough for either. There's also a much bigger obstacle that could derail this entire idea, and it has nothing to do with Congress. The Supreme Court is currently reviewing whether these tariffs are legal in the first place. Many of the tariffs were imposed by invoking national emergency powers, and several legal challenges argue that the president didn't actually have the authority to do that. During oral arguments, justices from both the conservative and liberal wings of the court expressed skepticism. If the court rules against the administration, not only would new tariff revenue stop, the government might also be required to refund billions in tariffs that were already collected. And if that happens, there is simply no scenario where dividend checks would be possible. So, what does all of this mean for you, especially if you're a senior trying to plan your retirement budget? First, remember this. This is a proposal, not a guarantee. Even Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent admitted on ABC's This Week that he hasn't discussed the details with the president yet. He also said the $2,000 dividend could come in lots of forms. It might not even be a check at all. It could be tax relief, credits, or some other kind of benefit. Prediction markets that track government policy put the odds at only 11% that a tariff dividend will be created by March 31st. In other words, Wall Street is not betting on this happening. Second, even if everything goes perfectly, even if Congress supports it, even if the legal challenges fade away, the earliest realistic timeline is mid to late 2026. That's nearly a year away. For seniors struggling with rising grocery prices, medical bills, insurance premiums, and everyday expenses right now, this timeline offers no immediate help, and every month between now and then brings more uncertainty about whether this plan will ever move forward at all. Here's my practical advice, and this part is incredibly important. Do not make financial decisions based on money that may never arrive. Don't co-sign a loan assuming $2,000 is coming. Don't postpone bills thinking you'll catch up later. And please don't delay medical care or prescriptions in hopes of a future payment. Instead, focus on what's actually guaranteed, your 2026 Social Security cost of living adjustment. The Social Security Administration has confirmed a 2.8% COLA for 2026. For the average retiree receiving around $2,000 per month, that's about $56 more every month beginning in January. That increase is real. It's locked in. It will show up in your January payment, and it's the number you should use when planning next year's budget. If you haven't already, log into your My Social Security account at ssa.gov. In early December, you'll be able to see your exact updated benefit amount for 2026. That's money you can plan around. One more thing to be aware of. Medicare. Part B premiums are rising to $202.90 in 2026, up from $185 in 2025. That's nearly a 10% increase, and it will be deducted directly from your Social Security check. For many people, this will take away about 1/3 of their COLA increase, so make sure you factor this into your budget. Now I need to say this as clearly as possible because seniors are being targeted heavily right now. Scammers are already using these $2,000 payment headlines to trick people. Factcheck.org has reported multiple false posts claiming that the government is issuing $2,000 direct deposits to U.S. citizens, even saying payments have already begun. This is not true. There are no payments scheduled, no checks in the mail, and no registration process. Here's what you must remember. The IRS, the Social Security Administration, and the Treasury Department will never contact you by email, text message, or social media about benefit payments. If someone reaches out through any of those channels asking you to register, verify your identity, or provide banking information, it is a scam. You will never need to pay a fee, give your Social Security number over the phone, or provide banking information to receive a legitimate government payment. Anyone asking for those details is trying to steal from you. The FBI's Internet Crime Report shows Americans aged 60 and older lost nearly $5 billion to scams in 2024 alone. Fraudsters specifically target seniors because they know many are watching for updates on benefits. If you receive a suspicious call, email, or text about these checks, hang up immediately. Do not click any links. Do not respond. If you're unsure whether something is legitimate, call the government agency directly using a number you look up yourself, not one provided in the message. While we wait to see what happens with this proposal, I want to remind you of programs available to seniors right now. Programs that can help today. Point. The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, can reduce grocery costs. Many seniors who qualify don't realize they're eligible. Check your state's SNAP website or contact your local area agency on aging. The Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, or LIHAP, can help with heating and cooling bills, especially important with rising energy costs. Medicare Extra Help can reduce the cost of prescription drugs. For seniors struggling to afford medications, this program can save you hundreds or even thousands of dollars each year. And don't forget your local area agency on aging. They can connect you with transportation services, home repair programs, meal deliveries, and other community-based support. These programs are real. They exist right now. Don't wait for a check that might never materialize when there is assistance you can access today. Here's what you need to remember as we wrap up. President Trump has proposed $2,000 tariff dividend payments for moderate and middle-income Americans, potentially including many seniors. Point. But this proposal faces major hurdles. It requires congressional approval. The math doesn't work with current tariff revenue. There are serious legal challenges at the Supreme Court that could eliminate the funding entirely. And even in the most optimistic scenario, payments wouldn't arrive until mid to late 2026. What is guaranteed is your 2.8% Social Security COLA beginning in January 2026. That is your reliable increase. Be extremely cautious of scams. Any unsolicited message about registering for these payments is fraud. And while it's natural to hope for extra help, focus on the assistance programs available right now. Programs that can truly make a difference today. If this video helped you, please subscribe to Retirement Made Easy and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Share this with other seniors who deserve clear, accurate information, not confusion or false hope. And before you go, leave a comment below. Are you expecting these payments? Or do you think they'll never happen? What resources have helped you most in your community? Thank you for watching, and remember, when it comes to your retirement security, make decisions based on facts, not promises. I'll see you in the next video.